Welcome to Marketing the Muse. I'm Marla Miller, and this is our 6th quick query critique session. For those of you who have been to my workshops, you know that this is a replication as close as I can get it to the real-time workshops that I offer, which allows authors to bring query letters in, stand up and read them, sit down and be quiet while the audience critiques, and with me offering mine last. In lieu of an audience, I am hoping that you are following along either at Marketing the Muse, where the letter is posted, or in my newsletter, where it also is posted. For those of you who are not on my newsletter, I would love for you to sign up, and you can do that by registering at Marketing the Muse. This is a nonfiction query letter, and I encourage people with nonfiction query letters to send them to me. I have a stack of fiction, and I'd like to offer both just by way of balancing out this workshop. Okay, here we go. She addresses this to me. Dear Miss Miller, I confess I'm a sexist. I love the primal differences between men and women. Rather than prolong the worn-out battle against human nature, I teach couples how to intentionally and passionately exploit human nature to their collective advantage. My mission: transform men and women in love from adversaries into allies. Desperate times require desperate measures. Despite best-selling books on relationships, the divorce rate is holding at 50%. Women still nag men, and men still go into their caves. My tactics circumvent the recycled communication techniques that result in blah, blah, blah. I move couples out of their heads and back into the genius of their body instincts. Define politically correct conventionality. My book, Love Laws of the Jungle, targets male-female issues via unprecedented proclamations and provocative methods. And it won't always be pretty, and it will cause a fuss, and it does work quite easily and quite readily. Law of the Jungle number 23. If your man's penis is in charge of him, sit down eye to eye with his penis and state your terms for a mutually rewarding deal. Tara, undress Rick. Sit down in front of him. Look his penis straight in the eye and bow in honor of King Cock. If you start laughing, compose yourself. This technique may seem silly, but keep the big picture in mind. A hearty, happy marriage requires pleasurable sex for two. Remember, the penis is its own entity. State your claim. Keep your eye on his penis and start talking. Chapter 7. Modernization notwithstanding, we're still all subject to the love laws of the jungle. Throughout my book is a list of love laws I've created, accompanied by intelligent tactics and clever teasers. I have a PhD in counseling psychology and am certified relationship coach. I was associate clinical director for Talk Radio's KABC, Dr. David Viscott. My work has been covered on ABC, CBS, BBC, E! News, the Chicago Tribune, London Daily Mail, Der Spiegel, the San Francisco Examiner, Vogue, Mirabella, the Daily News, Playboy Radio, Fitness Magazine, and more. An accredited expert on men and women, I've been in private practice for over 20 years. My doctoral dissertation was on the successful male. I've led all male groups, classes, and seminars. I've also led all women's groups, classes, as well as overnight camping retreats based on best-selling book, Women Who Run with Wolves. Love Laws of the Jungle was written in hindsight. This nonfiction book is an edited compilation of authentic letters I spontaneously wrote to my clients in the middle of the night from our session that day, synthesizing my afterthoughts and delayed insights. Each letter targets a male-female relationship challenge, prescribing innovative tools and result-oriented strategies. Given the self-help books you represent, I'd appreciate it if I could send my proposer a manuscript for your perusal. Thank you for your time. She states her name. She gives her address. She does not offer a telephone number or an email. I'm assuming that this letter is a draft, but if it isn't, a heads up to this author, make sure that you put your contact information all over your query letter. You'd be surprised how many authors don't. Okay, so what do I think of this query letter? Well, it's politically charged, and so I'm going to stay away from that, because she really does. If this book professes to be what it is, then she is going against political correctness by being a self-confessed sexist. So I'm not going to touch that, but what I am going to do is try to give this author some feedback about the confusion of this letter, because I am confused. And I don't think I need to be. I think it's all here. I think it's wordy. I think it needs a heavy edit. And I would propose that when she reviews this letter, and you can all see it either at marketingthemuse.com, or if you're on my newsletter list, and I hope all of you are, I post it there as well. By the way, for those of you who aren't on my newsletter list and you want to get it, just go to marketingthemuse.com and hit register and do that. Just give me your email address. Okay, so for those of you who are looking at the letter, I'd like you to go to the second to the last paragraph where this author says, Love Laws of the Jungle was written in hindsight. I actually think that's where she should open this query letter, perhaps not with this verbiage, but I think that this paragraph sets up what this book portends to be, which is a self-help book filled with letters and chapters that she has gleaned from her experience as a sex therapist, I'm assuming. Although she doesn't quite call herself a sex therapist, she calls herself a certified relationship coach. Okay. So I would look at the second to the last paragraph and I'd bring that up top. Below that, I would then open with an example of what she's trying to do, and that would be Law of the Jungle number 23, although I would set that up a bit and say, you know, the book is divided into X, Y, Z. Law of the Jungle number 23 reads, if your man's penis is in charge of him, da 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 da. It's provocative. It fortifies the voice of this author, who right up top at the beginning says she's a sexist and is politically incorrect. You know, it might hook some agent's attention. I love the idea of these letters, and if in fact she really did do this, I think that's fresh. So if she's got letters filled with sexual advice that almost read like stream of consciousness, with, you know, gals talking to penises, I'd like there to be some reciprocity here, but if not, it's fresh. It definitely got my attention. So I would reorganize this to open with the most titillating, because that's going to hook the reader. And if that's what this book is about, then don't make us wait for it. The other thing that I want to tell this author is that I believe I had to wait until paragraph, maybe it was 3, yeah, to hear the title of this book. And that's just a no-no. So Law of the Jungle, A Men and Women's Guide, should be in that first paragraph for sure. What else can I offer you in a few? I would definitely edit the number of places that you have you know, been interviewed. It just reads like almost a laundry list of every interview, show, and national magazine or newspaper that there is. I take a look at that because it just kind of drones on. And I would also, you've got your credentials in a couple of different places, consolidate them into one paragraph. So, you know, hit me with set up this book, give an example of this book, tell us why you're the best person to write it, and let us know. I welcome you to resubmit this after you've done some work on it. Love to see it again. Until the next time, thank you for tuning in to our 6th quick query critique. Marla Miller, Marketing the Muse. Visit my website anytime.